Now, not ayam, this śriyaḥ of goddess of fortune, aṅge, on the chest, alas, nitānta-rateḥ, who is very intimately related, prasādaḥ, the favor, svaḥ, of the heavenly planets, yoṣitām, of women, nalina, of the lotus flower, gandha, having the aromas, rucām, and the bodily luster, kutaḥ, much less, nyāḥ, others, rasa-utsave, in the festival of the rasa dance, asya, of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, bhuja-daṇḍa, by the arms, gṛhīta, embraced, kaṇṭha, their necks, labdha-āśiṣām, who achieved such a blessing, nyāḥ, which udagād became manifest, vraja-vallabhīnām, of the beautiful gopis, the transcendental girls of Brajabhumi. Translation and purport by His Divine, by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When Lord Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Rasa Leela, the gopis were embraced by the arms of the Lord. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or other consorts in the spiritual world. Indeed, never was such a thing even imagined by the most beautiful girls of the heavenly planets, whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the lotus flower. And what to speak of worldly women who are very beautiful according to the material estimations. The word meaning of the translation for this verse are taken from Srila Prabhupada's English rendering of Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 8th chapter, 80th verse. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti comments as follows: Lord Krishna, the best of all the avatars, exists on the highest platform of purity and morality, and thus He always remains praiseworthy by all, even while accepting worldly criticism for His cow-tending, wandering in the forest, taking meals with the young monkeys, stealing yogurt, seducing other men's wives, and so on. Similarly, the gopis who are constituted of the body and the Lord's pleasure potency achieved the highest standard of purity of auspiciousness, even in comparison to the goddess of fortune, and thus the gopis are supremely glorious, even though they were criticized by the worldly people because they were mere cowherd women living in the forest and behaving in an apparently improper way. Om ajnana-timirandasya jnananjana-shalakaya chakshulmilitanena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Mitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Shri Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I was trying to refer to the sloka, what was cited in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, 8th chapter, 80th verse. So, Srila Prabhupada this translation was taken from Chaitanya Charitamrita and put up in the Srimad Bhagavatams into Chaitanya Charitamrita, but the understanding is little bit intriguing and with some reference that in the purport Srila Prabhupada writes, this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 47th chapter, 60th verse, was spoken by Uddhava when he visited Vrindavan to deliver a message from Krishna to gopis. Uddhava remained in Vrindavan to observe the movements of the gopis there. When he saw ecstatic love for Krishna in separation manifested by the gopis, he appreciated their supreme love and therefore expressed his feeling in this verse. He admitted that the fortune of the gopis could not be compared even to the fortune of the goddesses of fortune, to say nothing of the beautiful girls in the heavenly planets. This is beyond the limits of even a language to give a proper understanding about the exalted position of the gopis, exalted fortune of the gopis, that they were so much favored by Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa that such favors are simply like dreams in the mind of his wedded wives in Dwarka. There are 16,108 wives. They can't imagine this kind of, reciprocation from Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa simply because these gopis. But the extreme nature of the gopis is also described that they were simple village girls. And those who are, right in modern time, so-called educated, understanding different cultures, and the devotees are coming especially from all different cultures and backgrounds, and that has virtually no meaning in front of this explanation of the simplicity of the gopis. This simplicity cannot be expressed by going in a village and perceive it. You can't. That kind of simplicity the gopis were described. It's not a kind of allegory, or it's not kind of the highest explanation, but it is beyond the words, and therefore it is explained in tongue. You understand? To talk in tongue. Only the speaker knows the depth, not anybody else who is a listener. To talk in tongues means the value of such understanding is casted by those who are accomplished linguistics, accomplished philosophers, thinkers, and they can simply titillate their brain into understood to derive a meaning for simple terms. They cannot do that. It is beyond the framework of the human brains. Whether you have 36 ounces of brain or 32, it doesn't matter. It is far beyond the functionality of the brain. So, with that kind of understanding, we must feel total humiliation, that we stand nowhere. Even though some simple things are there, but it is so profound and so deep, that Krishna loves this kind of simplicity, because a person who remains so simple may not be able to describe in whatever he knows and what to speak of when he is coming from other mother tongues. So, the limitations which are being shown by those who are not into that loving devotional service platform even, how are they going to understand the deep feelings? Krishna chose Uddhava because he was very learned. But more than his learning, was baffled in understanding the depth of love of gopis. He got baffled. Actually, he wanted to teach them, teach the gopis, that don't lament, he's the supreme omnipotent and he's staying as Paramatma everywhere. So why do you have to feel? So by his erudite scholarship, he wanted to pacify the gopis. But instead of that, he got some deep lesson himself that he was not able to express fully. So, we need to understand through the understandings of our predecessor acharyas. Even amongst all disciples of Srila Prabhupada, how come Gopi Paranathan Prabhu and Radhanand Maharaj were selected to translate? And they are also, putting some limitations and quoting Srila Prabhupada. So we have to follow. They are also putting their signatures as to translate this remaining 10th and 11th cantos and 12th cantos. They are showing their humility first. Humble attempts or humble servants. Because nobody can surpass the gopis' love. Nobody can imitate even what to speak. Even Krishna's own queens of Dwarka, 16,108, they can't imagine this thing So, where is the question of the worldly minded people to enter into such topics? It is extremely difficult. So, how would you satisfy yourself? How would you satisfy yourself? How would you know the secrets of loving devotional service as exemplified by the gopis, and we are supposed to follow in their footsteps? Therefore, study of Chaitanya Charitamrita is very important to understand. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, both Radha and Krishna, this singular Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is expressing his Viraha Lila in the footsteps of gopis. For Krishna is not possible, himself alone cannot do it. Na parayeham. He will not be able to reciprocate the love of the gopis. So limitations are there for Krishna also. And gopis are surpassing the love. This makes Krishna eternally indebted to the gopis. Eternally indebted. Indebtedness is required. For us, those who are in bodily conception of life, we do not know our indebtedness from 8.4 million species of life. What is the indebtedness? It is difficult to pay off. That Krishna allowed us to live, even though in rotation of so many lives, but he helped us to come to the senses of introspection at least. Otherwise, animals do not have introspection. And as far as we are trying to strive the love within material world, which is impossible, yet baffled by Maya, we still try to look for love. Isn't it stupidity? But yet, we are not coming out from that. So much attachment, subtle attachment. We are bound by simply ignorance. And when we try to study Srimad Bhagavatam, oh my God. So how, without detachment, cultivated detachment, how is it possible to understand or enter into such subject? Literary inability is faced. Ultimately, we have to face literary inability, both in understanding what to even compose such limitless love. Even though we can't write even, but empowered personalities like Sukadeva Goswami, when it comes out from his mouth through the pages, they say that they know something about, not everything, something. Otherwise, Krishna's Leelas are unlimited. In Srimad Bhagavatam, only some have been described. So you can understand that we are simply struggling empty-handed, trying to grab something in the air, thin air. You can't hold anything. And as far as love of Godhead is concerned, it takes two only. The poets say that prema gali ati sakari tame dosamai. It is so narrow path of the lane of love that only two people can stay. One is Krishna and another is you. But third cannot come. Now, who do we have the third person? Guru. Guru will take you up to the doorway. And then you have to enter. Because Guru also has his own loving relationship. So Krishna reciprocates individually with each and every one. And here are the topmost who are, being beneficiary of Krishna's love and reciprocation that nobody could imagine even. And when we are facing to understand even, then we find so much difficulty that what is the limit of the love? There is no limit. If single action of Krishna wrapping his hands around the gopis, giving them special favor that was not obtained by even his own wedded wives, and simply it was an imagination for the damsels of Svargaloka. And our beautiful women in the earthly planets, they can't think even of such thing. If men cannot think, how can women think? If 36 ounces of brain cannot think, how can 32 ounces will be thinking? One is dependent, another is so-called independent, but ultimately everybody is dependent. So whatever little reciprocation is there in advancement in devotional service, but not reaching to the highest climb, even though we are on that path, for a tiny jiva, you require only tiny drop of love. And here it is not a tiny drop of love, it is the immense, unlimited, unbounded love in reciprocation of ahaituki apratihata. Ahaituki apratihata. Yayatma suprasidhati. So that will satisfy the soul. The sample is there, and tiny jivas must remain satisfied and cannot think or trade into the subject matter of such highest caliber of divine love that Krishna is reciprocating with the gopis. But the target is there, path is there. We are still in the process of learning to the fidelity of our movement and the 7 purposes of this movement, which has been declared by Srila Prabhupada in establishing this institution. It's nothing but education. And that is also limited. Where is the free love? That has to come after properly getting trained up. One life is not enough. And those who are materialistic, they also think the sense gratification they achieved within this life, say one life is not enough. So there are two divisions of opposite nature. For both of them, one life is not enough. Life is, that's why, made perpetual. Either you go into perpetual ignorant life or become liberated and express your love and gratitude to Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa in whatever capacity you can develop. But we have all to follow the loving devotional service of the gopis. We also face similar challenge in material life, in sadhaka stage, that to think of the gopi bhav is extremely difficult. And we are told not to trade in that. Most of us are struggling in the stage of anartha nivritti. And to get liberated from the bodily conception of life, the same Goswamis, the same exalted devotees who are carrying out order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to write Bhakti Shastra so diligently, so stepwise, so scientifically, that you go perform and receive the transcendental knowledge, fine. But to establish a loving relationship with Lord Krishna, and that to the highest form of Gopi Bhav, it is extremely difficult. So you don't think even. Therefore, there are two sections of sadhana bhakti. The first is very regulatory. Ādau shraddha tato sadhu sangatha bhajana kriya anartha nivritti sya tato nishtha ruci asakti bhav prem. But after asakti bhav and prem, these are the three spontaneous. That has another discipline, an internal discipline called bhajana pranali. And we need to simply know the system. You can't enter in. Therefore, we need to understand Guru Tattva, because Guru Tattva will be continuing to guide us once we are becoming agreeable to follow the mandate of Srila Prabhupada. Then he will continue to guide us. But one life is not enough. We are told that we should try to achieve as much as possible within this lifetime. But at what stage we will stop, we do not know. But the path is secured. We may not have achieved proper perfection in this lifetime, so what? Whatever we are achieving is a permanent asset, but we have to increase these assets and exhaust our assets in loving devotional service like gopis. But that will come later. Devotional assets are never going to be diminished. It's not like karma phal. All right? It is a continuous asset that goes life after life. So never get discouraged in pursuing on the path or never try to even become not serious of the commitment that we have given during the time of initiation. That, if it's a long way, why don't I take a little break or a vacation in this administration of these bhakti rules and regulations? No. Discipline is very important. We have to maintain the discipline and work according to that discipline and make a progress. So, think it's a realistic pie, but in the sky. And you won't grab it, you can't grab it. Because it's too difficult to understand literally. Too difficult to explain it literally. Only it is expressed that if you are wounded in your heart with the pangs of separation and your heart is bleeding, who will know it unless somebody else is also wounded? Then you have, at least two people to appreciate each other. But that is a later talk. First of all, who is liberated and who is not liberated, that has to be understood. And only those who are liberated can understand others who are liberated. We are all right now under the clutches of Maya. We are not liberated yet. And we are talking of something which is simply hovering like an idea. No, it is a factual thing, not a virtual or some kind of imaginary things. About 12 years back, we were in Burma. In Burma, Theravada Buddhism, which is nitānta-rateḥ, they criticize Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. All right? But they don't understand ABC. And we are not only believers, but we factually understand the absolute truth through the help of Guru about Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Krishna Tattva is there. We are confirmed on that. And we are trying to practice on that basis. Krishna Bhakti karile sarva karma krita hoy. That is our position right now. In establishing the conformity in the faith. But then, this Theravada people, they do not understand. Then, what kind of God is this? He has 16,108 wives, but he is thinking on a bodily conception of life. He is not liberated either. So how come a not liberated person, can estimate the limits of liberation of others? So unless and until one has to bleed in separation, that stage we should invite. And Krishna may grant it. We are not at that stage even. We are in bodily conception of life. How is it possible to compare the one which is on the transcendental aspects of behavioral aspect, but transcendental behavior? It doesn't require the material knowledgeability or opulence to understand, or well-educated and well-disciplined person. No, there is no requirement of that discipline and freely loving Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa just like the gopis were doing. We require discipline. Otherwise, out of discipline, will be baffled in the material nature. Material nature is very complex. It is Krishna's material nature. So, let's try to remove the illusion of the three modes of material nature and then gradually progress towards the transcendental nature. This practice is perfect. Practice of the process is perfect. We may be imperfect, but the process is perfect. And that is the only hope we have to understand the feelings of loving separation. We can't imitate. We can't compare. We are also in similar position. No way. The transcendental nature is crossing beyond the boundaries of our material imagination. That realm is completely different, but it is existing. And these narrations are on the topmost level. Even those who are saturated with the knowledge of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa's majesty can fail to understand the loving relationship of the paramour type or extramarital affairs of the gopis with Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa. They will completely be baffled. So, with this, understanding, we should keep a very humble attitude in trying to pray to these verses that please help us to understand more deeper, but within it doesn't require big lectures. Nāyaṁ ātmāna pravachanena labhya athava bahuna śrutena va. This is beyond the expression of erudite scholarship and delivering the lectures on the subject. No way. This is a subject matter of a deep meditation for those who are suffering from the pangs of separation from Krishna. Madhavendra Puri was that. Even his immediate disciple, Ramchandra Puri, misunderstood him. So what to speak of us? He was in this deep separation and couldn't understand. He thought his guru is a neophyte. So he was advising to think of impersonal Brahman and merge it. What an audacity, So we have to respect our limits, remain within the limits, and try to, get the mercy of the Lord and the holy name to make further progress. Even Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur shows limitation in expressing this gopis' love. And he immediately, takes our mind off from this highest expression of their good fortune, the gopis' good fortune. It says, Lord Krishna, the best of all the avatars, exist on the highest platform of purity and morality. And thus he always remains praiseworthy by all. Even while accepting the worldly criticism of his cowherd tending. People misunderstand. Oh, what kind of God is that? He is tending the cows. Yes, those who are tending the dogs, they don't understand. So they will criticize him. Doga vipalayantam, people. Wandering in the forest, taking meals with young monkeys. What kind of God is this? Stealing yogurt, seducing other men's wives, and so on. But these are the subject matters of his pleasure potency. So instead of going to individual gopi or the yutheshwaris, that in bhajana pranani that comes, that we need to a tutelage from them to learn that particular mood and devotional service, that they are so expert in it. The Guru guides in bhajana pranani. But here it is said that gopis are simply constituted of the Lord's pleasure potency, and they achieved the highest standard of purity and auspiciousness. To criticize such nature is offensive. So we can't take their judgment or their understanding and try to obtain the limitless meditation on this highest. That will keep on going. But more you meditate, more you will get into the deeper. It's like to dive deep within the science of Krishna consciousness is just similar to get pearls by the divers. They will benefit, but those who are onlooking, they simply try to understand it's not possible. They will not gain anything. One has to dive deep into order to get the pearls, very expensive. So, all these glorious spiritual activities are criticized by worldly-minded people, and when the gopis are so much simple, an extreme example of simplicity, but they are deep into this or saturated with love of Lord. And on the other behalf, those who are sophisticated people, obsessed with material nature, they think they gain something, even though how temporary it was. So we have to draw the line. The devotees are not supposed to think on the other terms that, oh, this is extremely deep. We are on the path and we have to make a progress. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy, and then we'll progress. If we are not happy by chanting, then what to speak of making progress towards understanding the deepest loving service of gopis. So thank you. Anybody has any question? Jai Shruti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. You were mentioning how people are thinking that they'll take a vacation from regulated principles. And we find people inside our movement, even many people, of course, outside the movement, think that somehow they will engage in these things and then come back at the end of the weekend and everything is fine. But somehow, even with so much evidence, people inside and outside of Krishna consciousness have difficulty seeing that these kinds of material activities like illicit sex and intoxication, that the risk is not commensurate with the gain, and once engaging, you become so entangled. And why is it that people have difficulty seeing the obvious?
Because from time immemorial, we have been suffering in the stage of different types of ignorance, means different species of life. But in human form of life, there is a difference because there is a developed consciousness. And if we also utilize this developed consciousness into animal propensities, then it's a degradation. Right? The degradation, more we advance in material nature, more we become degraded. And advancement came from the West, the Paschimir Desha Mudha Anachar. That's why in pursuit of the absolute truth, people were not traveling even abroad. And still there are taboos for even some Mayavadi or so-called sannyasis not to travel. And they should not cross. But India became corrupted by the Western influence. So why not? Yes?
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. You are talking about the Bhajan Pranali. The Guru will guide us on the mode of the devotees and Śriyo. But for us, Bhajan Pranali is Nam Sankirtan or something else. We have this Nam Sankirtan as a Bhajan Pranali. So what stage this stage will come? And will guide us.
One has to get at least liberated. Liberation comes, nishtha. Nishthavan labate jnanam. So, it's an unshakable faith, and one should develop at least up to nishtha. Then it will become semi-automatic, that you will be led into bhajana pranali. You will develop the taste first, ruchi, but then from asakti, bhav and prem, these are three gradual developments in bhajana pranali.
This bhajana pranali you are talking about is raganuga bhakti.
Of course, raganuga bhakti starts from asakti, bhav and prem.
But in our Nam Sankirtan movement, like, normally don't specify like this. So we say Prabhupada, normally for Prabhupada and Tekare Maha and that's why this Nam Sankirtan we can achieve one perfection.
Yes, the Nam reveals. It puts us from the material platform to the transcendental platform. And when we develop aruchi, means rejection that the lower taste and accept the higher taste, then progress will be there towards bhajana pranali.
My question is that Pranali's system is different in its form, or it's very long?
Yeah, but we are not, nobody has ever entered, neither Prabhupada, encourage anybody that, you go into bhajana pranali. Maybe Narayan Maharaj might have. That's why there was a big question. Fool's rush, where the angels fear to tread in. We don't have to go out of the line, but we have to remain at least humble within our own constitutional position as the devotee surrendered to Srila Prabhupada's movement. We can't deviate. It's not that there is an extra knowledge, you have to go somewhere else. People are short-tempered, short-minded, and they want cheap, easy access to bhajana pranayam. They go to Babaji in Radhakund. They think they are qualified. No. Where is the tangibility to be found in progress of such devotees who left for so-called higher studies in other movement? Some of my known people joined even Kripalu. Some went off track in Radhakund. Some became Babaji. But what is there? They are still in physical nature. So why should we apply bhajan pranali prematurely? System is there. Now who will vouch for somebody's nishtha, the conformity and liberation? Who will vouch for whom? This material world is very precarious. Let us come out of that, and the liberation is there. We don't have to strive separately from liberation. We have difficulty in anartha nivrutti. We are stuck in that stage. We have our temperament, which may not be conducive to the bhajana pranali. Now how can we go there? We are checked out. No visa to enter. What do you think? The doors are open just like that? No. We may see Maya, but we are not out of her jurisdiction yet. So what to speak of thinking of the bhajana pranali and developing highest in the footsteps of Guru. Yes, the path is there. And we are on that path, but where are we on the path? We are stuck at anartha nivrutti. So we should remain humble and always hopeful. Humble but hopeful. There are rasika bhaktas who want to dwell in this kind of subjects. Bhagavatam will appreciate those who are genuine rasikas. But why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set up this particular system for us? Coming down from disciplic succession, and those who were already into the deep power to connect us with the parampara, they must be on the higher stages more than liberation. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was in Vipralamba state. Now Vipralamba is on the power stage. It's a highly developed the stage of always. Raghunath Das Goswami was in a Vipralambha stage. Why should one teach about bhajana pranali if he is not on that level? So we are supposed to be honest with ourselves, remain humble, and develop your Krishna consciousness. Nobody is stopping you. But never try to ask your guru even, where am I? Where am I? Which stage am I? We generally ask the sannyas candidates that, what do you think? At which stage your Krishna consciousness is developed? But some person, even though understand, but they do not understand the gravity of that. And some did respond that they are on the power stage. But just to make them sit down. Well, we have to be practical, we have to be honest, and we have to be genuine in practice. Everything will go together. What's the use of bluff in Krishna consciousness? We are even forbidden to take Radha's name. Rather chant Hare Krishna, not Radha Krishna. And people are still baffled, not knowing why Hare Krishna. We see practically in Prabhupada's conversation, if somebody tell him, Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa or Radha Krishna, Prabhupada said, no, Hare Krishna. It's not that we are so much stubborn, but energy, principle is the only medium that we are applying ourselves. We do not know, our personality has never come out. Even though Swarup is understood to be servant of God, but our personality is not neither masculine, but it is always said to be feminine, Shakti. Only Shakti manifests the personality. But that Shakti is Hara. Hara potency, even though we know that it is Srimati Radharani, but through Hara potency, Krishna will manifest and will give us pleasure. And that's why he is Ram, reservoir of pleasure. So, and at least in this lifetime, we have to remain very obedient in understanding our present status as sadhak. And we are approaching through Hara potency. Potency, internal potency, Hara, and begging her mercy. The manifestation of Swarup is there, but it is extremely difficult even in the Archa-vigraha form, unless and until we develop an internal bond by service attitude to the Archa. Read in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, when Kapil Dev is explaining all this. They are not statues. They can exchange your sentient feelings, but how you treat them, the way you will be treated. So it is one of the exercise or a training. Then you have to reciprocate with your congregation the same way that you are treating the Archa Vigraha. And if there is a contradiction, then Archa Vigraha has not accepted your services. So are we simply a statue, Murti Pujak? No. All the final sentiments have to be developed when we are given second initiation and opportunity to serve the deities of the Lord. The deities are mainly attractive to the neophytes. But the deities are essential for training the advanced devotees too. And there are few, neophytes are many. Are we going to remain neophytes or progressive towards the higher ranks of devotional service? Pleasure is there, but pleasure will not be appreciated unless you know the pangs of wounded situation in the heart. Jai. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.